Hello everybody, I'm Chipchimp and welcome to another Minecraft video. Have you ever wanted to take an elevator in Minecraft and just go all the way up or all the way down? Well, I have an idea. I think I can make it work. We have to see if we can make an elevator with controllable floors so you can go all the way up to whatever floor you want. Pick the floor and you go up. Let's see what we can do. So one of the simplest ways to do this would just be create a bunch of water elevators. So you could get in the first one, go up, and now I'm on the second floor. Or I want to go to the next floor, okay, go in, and I'm on the next floor. Oh, I want to be all the way on the top? Sure, I go all the way to the top. This works, but it's not as fluid as a single elevator. You have to manually move to each floor. Say I want to go from here all the way to there, there's a lot of moving back and forth. I want to just get in, go all the way up, and get out here. But sometimes I want to go to this floor. Not just always go to that floor. Another thing you could do is just make a simple water elevator like you normally would, but instead of having a solid bubble stream, you could actually come in here, cover up some of the blocks, and when you go in, you'll actually stop right here, and you could just float out. However, you cannot continue up unless you replace these water blocks again. So we need some way to automate the removal of this water here. That way you can continue up on your next entrance to the elevator. So with a simple redstone setup like this, you can take a redstone output from an item frame with an item in it through a comparator and see which direction this is facing. Based on which repeater lights up, you can tell how far the redstone signal is going. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then it goes back to 1. See, this last one doesn't light up at all because it doesn't go past this point. The goal with this will be to use this system to create a choice of which floor to go to, and you'll actually go up 8 floors with a single lever. It's hard to do it down because to go down you have to have it pull you down and have a timer so it cuts off, because otherwise you would just be falling normally, just in water. There's not actually any pull. So it has to be a very quick timer, and that timer would also adjust based on the height of each floor. It would depend very specific for each building and how tall your specific elevator is. So for the cases of this tutorial, we're only going to make choose up, and to go down it'll just be a drop. And maybe that'll be a future project to make an elevator that you can go up and down from any floor. So the way this will work is I am currently standing on floor 1 of my building. If I want to go to floor 2, I'll set this here and say I want to go up 1 floor. I want to go up 2 floors. I want to go up 3 floors. So basically this is floor 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm on floor 1. I don't need an elevator to go up to floor 1 if I'm standing on floor 1. So one thing with repeaters set up like this, if you're going to a floor above what you're choosing, both of these two would also activate in this scenario. So we need a way to not activate these two and only activate this one. I'm thinking if we have a sticky piston underneath all of these, then activating one of these should then cause the previous ones to deactivate. But these are still connected. I may need to do them on separate floors, like so. So looking back on it, the next part of what I was building didn't really make sense, so we're just going to skip past it and carry on to what actually was working. Alright, we made progress. So what we have right now, the first 3 floors are set up and they work correctly. And the system resets when you go back around. So if we just duplicate this all the way through each floor, it should go all the way up and every floor would work. The problem I have with this system is just how delayed it can get, since each observer is 1 tick. At the top floor, you're going to have this many observers going up. And it also gets quite expensive to have all of this. So I need to find a way to get these observers to travel faster, and I have an idea for that as well. If we were to just make this into a tower like so of, let's say, honey blocks, the next one we would use slime blocks. So now when this first one gets activated, no, doesn't want to work. Oh, it's because of these. I understand. Do it again and set these to be honey. Now each set should work more quickly. So we'll set it to the first floor and then I have to recalibrate each floor. So if the bucket is filled, that means you will stop on that floor. If the bucket is empty, that means you would go on that floor. First floor works, you would get in, like I just showed. You get in, you stop here at the first floor. And we set it to the second floor. Let's see how it reacts. I don't think that actually worked. It's because I grabbed this it doesn't pull it anymore. And we'll try this. So I'm hoping that as long as these two fire at the exact same time, it'll work fine. But I don't think that'll actually happen. So one way I was able to solve these problems of the honey blocks and slime blocks sticking to the observers was around the back. You have one or the other. I chose to do this honey blocks. Just come out and then go around and attach to this observer from the back. And now there's no connection here between the two, so this next one doesn't get stuck and it can slide freely. Let's do that for all of them and it should work all the way up. So I ran into this really weird problem where for some reason having two observers like this, instead of like sending a single pulse, was double firing on this piston and caused it to push and retract instantly. So it was giving two pulses to this, which meant nothing changed in the dispenser. But it works to change it like this. It's probably like this movement bud powers this, which pushes. That's my guess. This gets bud powered from this activating, and then the other one is activating it again because it observed this movement. But it's really strange. It's not intuitive at all. Alright, and the system is working. Let me give you a tour of how it works real quick. So as intended, there's an item frame here that can switch you to any floor. We're currently on floor 1. This is set to take us to floor 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then back to 2. So you can just switch this to whichever floor you want, hop in, and you'll go straight there. This is floor 2. And to get down, I just have a little drop chute for now. It's fast enough to go up and down that it should be easy enough to just have this as your only floor selection method. As for the redstone, this item frame simply goes into a comparator, which then powers a piston underneath, pushes up an observer, which activates these rails, which then activates this chain reaction of observers and sticky pistons and honey or slime blocks. And those then lead into the dropper over here, which takes out the water and causes you to stop upon reaching this area of the chute. The basic principle is just you have to toggle the target floor and the floor before it. So this floor is currently set to off because the water is taken out of this block. The next floor is currently set to on, so you would go past this since there's water in this block. By activating this note block, which is actually a really interesting way that it's done because it updates the block by changing the instrument. If you see on the right side it says instrument bass drum. Changing the block underneath it actually changes the instrument to harp, which is a block update so the observer sends a pulse. And as you heard, the water changed. Really interesting. I wasn't completely sure if this would work, but I'm glad that it does. And if your building doesn't have 9 stories, because I'm sure not all buildings will have this many floors in them, you can just cut it off wherever you would like it to cut off. The one change I want to make is I actually want to add a light so you can see when the system is in use currently. We've actually changed this for a note block, changed this for a pressure plate, and now you can walk in freely, you can walk out freely. We'll add an observer and we'll just do this for each floor and then we'll connect them all to each other, and I should be able to do a T flip-flop. Maybe if you do a pulse extender and then it's extended for longer than the pressure plate would be, but not longer than it would take to go up the floors. So now we have this light here. So anytime you are in the system, it'll be on, and then when you come out, it should turn off. So let's just test it with just an item. So walking into the system, I would activate it, see it's on, but it actually turns off again. So it's not good. Let's try my pulse extender. Forgot I was going to do that. So we've added in the light system and it works. Here's the redstone for. It's this second line of observers going all the way up, and then this pulse extender, T flip-flop, and redstone line going over to the lamp. So I'll just show you real quick how it works. If you were to walk onto this, and then me going into the system, so imagine I'm in the elevator right now, this will actually be on the entire time. And as I come out on a different floor, let's say I went to the second floor, I would step on it to come out, and it turns off. So because of the large delay, we're actually going to make another piston line, just like we did before, like that. And that should reduce the delay by a fair amount. I don't know how many times I've said, oh, it's complete. It is actually complete. This time, legit. So now a quick tour of the entire thing. We've got our little floor selector right here. And then we have our light to show that someone's in the system. It'll stay on. But we come out here. See, it was on. There's a delay. And it turns off. The only problem I have with the system is that it's a bit loud and it's a bit large, but you know, if you're going up this much height, there's going to be something in that space. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with how it turned out. It's pretty good. I want to have a way to come down rather than just you drop, but that's a project for another day because that sounds a lot more complicated than this was, and this is already more than I had intended. But I don't know what I really expected. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks pretty good. It's works great. I'm proud of this. It's a working elevator in Minecraft. We actually did it. Just choose your floor, hop in, and you're good to go. Very pog. All right, well, thank you so much for watching and sticking all the way to the end. I hope you learned something out of this. And even if you didn't really understand what was going on, hope you're at least amused by a cool redstone invention being made. I think this was pretty cool, and I'm proud of what we have here. It's actually the tallest structure in redstone world, so if nothing else, we got that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys stick around for more, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.